Imagine walking into a place where your own success is questioned, where your presence alone is enough to make people assume the worst. That's exactly what happened to Michael, a self-made entrepreneur who had worked his entire life to reach where he was today. He had come to the bank that morning for a simple transaction, a withdrawal from his own account. But what should have been routine quickly spiraled into something much darker. The moment he stepped inside, he noticed it. The way the teller glanced at him, then at the suit he was wearing, then back at him as if something didn't add up. The way the security guard near the entrance shifted slightly, suddenly alert. He walked up to the counter and made his request. $10 million. Silence. The teller's smile stiffened. "I'm sorry, sir. That's quite a large sum. Are you sure you have an account with us?" Michael kept his composure. He was used to this kind of skepticism, but today, it hit different. He pulled out his ID, his account number, his banking details. Still, she hesitated. Then she called for the manager. And that's when everything went south. The bank manager, a middle-aged man with cold eyes, stepped forward, looking Michael up and down like he was something to be inspected. He didn't bother lowering his voice when he said it. "Sir, I think there's been a mistake. We don't just hand out money to anyone." He smirked, his condescension thick. "Do you even have that kind of money?" Michael exhaled slowly, keeping his temper in check. "Check the account." The manager chuckled, a low, cruel laugh. Then he shook his head. "I don't think so." And with a snap of his fingers, security was called. 2 guards approached, one cracking his knuckles like he was waiting for a reason. "I'll have to ask you to leave, sir." And that's when Michael said it, calmly, clearly. "You might want to wait." The security guards hesitated, exchanging a look. The manager frowned. "And why would I do that?" Michael checked his watch. 3, 2, 1. At that moment, the glass doors of the bank swung open, and a group of 6 sharply dressed executives walked in. The air in the room changed instantly. Tension gripped the space. The bank tellers, who had been watching from a distance, suddenly straightened up. The security guards froze. And the manager? His smirk disappeared. Michael turned, smiling as one of the executives, a tall man in a navy suit, walked straight up to him and extended a hand. "Mr. Carter," the man said, his voice filled with respect. "Apologies for the delay. We've been expecting you." The manager's face lost all color. The tellers stared in disbelief. Then came the bombshell. The executive turned, glancing at the manager before speaking to the entire bank. "For those who don't know, this is Michael Carter, one of our biggest investors. In fact, his accounts alone contribute more to this institution than some of our corporate clients combined." Silence. Pure, deafening silence. The manager stammered, his hands shaking slightly. I didn't know." "You didn't check," Michael interrupted, his voice still calm but now cutting through the room like steel. "You assumed. And then you disrespected me." One of the other executives shook his head, turning to the manager. "This is unacceptable. You've single-handedly disrespected one of our most valued clients based on your own biases." The manager tried to backpedal. "I was just following procedure." Michael cut him off again, this time sharper. "No, you weren't. Because if a man who looked like you walked in here and asked for the same amount, I doubt security would have been called." The weight of his words hung in the air. The head executive sighed. "Effective immediately. You're dismissed." The manager's mouth opened, then closed. He looked around, searching for support, but all he found were averted gazes. The same employees who had laughed along with him earlier now wanted nothing to do with him. As security escorted the former manager out, Michael simply turned back to the executives. "Now, about my withdrawal." This time, there were no questions, no hesitations, just the sound of people scrambling to correct their mistake. But even as Michael walked out of that bank, his money in hand, the victory felt hollow. Because he knew, thousands of others wouldn't have had the same outcome. thousands of others who weren't investors, who didn't have connections, who wouldn't have been able to prove themselves in the face of discrimination. And that was the real problem. Because no matter how much money a black man had, in their eyes, he was still just another suspect. Michael didn't just take the apology and walk away. He used his influence to implement diversity training across multiple banking chains. Because he knew this wasn't just about him. It was about the next black entrepreneur walking through those doors, the single mother trying to secure a loan, the young college grad opening their first account. So, tell me, how many more times does this have to happen before we stop pretending racism isn't baked into the system?